What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's webinar. You're going to learn how to make marketing campaigns instantly with AI. Really cool new feature we're announcing today at Jasper Campaigns. I see that y'all are streaming in over 200 participants live already and growing fast. What I want to do is a quick admin. You all send over something in the chat. Just say hi. Let me know where you're from. And then go ahead and also submit, just a couple of y'all, a question in the Q&A. You should be able to send over one of your all's questions, and then awesome. Okay, so chat's disabled, but you can do Q&A, and I see those rolling in. Thank you all for testing it. Alongside with me today, we got Misty and Dakota, Casey, Brylan, and the webinars team. We are all here to help you answer all your questions. Thanks for hopping in there, and let's go ahead and get into it. Yes, it will be recorded. It will be on YouTube later today. And yeah, all have access to this product. It's available now for everybody. You all can create a campaign today. Sweet. I'm going to turn off chat, but my team will be there to help you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Jasper's webinar today, Marketing Campaigns Instantly Made with AI. My name is Austin Distel, and in today's webinar, we'll be going over a few agenda items. I'm going to show you how an AI that's built for marketing teams. If you all are new to Jasper, if this is your first introduction, wow, that's awesome. Welcome. Most of you all probably here today are already customers. Most of the time, this is product education, so there's not a strong pitch. Don't worry about that. We're going to be talking about our new feature called Campaigns. And this allows you to instantly generate all the assets you need for an upcoming campaign in just a few minutes, not weeks. And I'll show you 3 examples. No matter really what industry you're in, you're going to do a marketing campaign, and Jasper will make it easy. Stick around to the end if you're live with us today for a Q&A session. Let's rewind the clock. I've been doing marketing campaigns since I was a kid. This is me and the Jasper team creating marketing campaigns for years now. And in fact, about a decade ago, as of now, I had a marketing agency. And Dave Rogan-Moser, CEO of Jasper, was actually my mentor helping me grow that agency because you know what? He had a marketing agency as well with his 2 co-founders of Jasper, JP and Chris. We know our way around what marketing campaigns are about. We've done this hundreds of times for our own companies, for clients, and we talk about this stuff all the time. It's really what we live. So that's why Jasper is built for marketing teams, is because this is our life. This is what we live. So we know that there are 3 stages in marketing campaigns. You got your prep stage, your create stage, and your distribute stage. But I think about this like cooking. You want to prep the food, you want to cook the food, and then you want to eat the food. So when we look at this today, we're going to be talking mostly about this middle create stage. But coming into Jasper, you're going to want to bring in your research. So research about the offer, what you're going to be promoting, research about your competitors, research about the latest trends and like the way that you're going to distribute the content. Do you want to go for a video heavy? Do you want to go for an event? That's the kind of research you want to do. You want to find your hook. What's going to make your product stand out from the crowd or your offer really land? Your audience, who are you selling to? This isn't just your ICP. It's also what stage are they receiving this? You could do a campaign towards your cold audience, your warm leads, your current customers, or your past customers. So there's a lot of different audiences there, and you want to come into Jasper knowing that. You should also tell the AI about your goals and your metrics. You should write down your budget, your timelines, and figure out who's going to be involved in your project. So Jasper is built for teams, so you can bring in all of your marketing team and other stakeholders as well into Jasper to help you prep this content. All right. You'll package that into a brief. And I'm going to show you a few examples of a campaign brief that will give you a lot of success. Then in Jasper, I'll show you how to create a campaign by choosing your channels, planning your assets. Often, marketing teams will delegate this to all the specialists on their team. So you'll have a social media manager, you'll have an SEO director, things like that, right? You might even have agencies or external partners that help you create this. So you want to delegate that content creation to other people, and then you got to review it and optimize it, edit it, proofread it. This often takes weeks of time to do. It's no easy button until today. I'll show you how that works with campaigns. And then lastly, once you have these assets we'll generate today in Jasper, it is then on you to go and schedule and publish those at the right time, monitor the success of those campaigns, how people are interacting with it, engaging with your community, and then measuring the results and analyzing. Over time, you will see Jasper growing into this distribute phase and measuring, analyzing, being performance-based with a lot of good stats. So that's our direction where we're growing. But right now, we're really focused here on creating the most high-performing marketing copy here with the create phase. So today with Jasper Campaigns, we're introducing how you can now create high-performing marketing assets in minutes, not weeks. And how does this work? Jasper is the only AI that stays on brand when it writes, and it can write factually about your products, your audience, your services, and ultimately about your business. So if you want to write a campaign that actually works, that actually performs, helps you hit your marketing goals, then stick around. We're going to do a live demo. In this live demo, we'll do 3 campaigns: a SaaS webinar, a membership Black Friday campaign, and a retail product launch. Are you guys ready for this? Let me know in the Q&A what industry that you're in. So if you're in SaaS, in the Q&A, SaaS. If you're in memberships or newsletters or content, let me know that too. And if you're in retail, let's say you sell an e-com product or you're on store shelves, or if you have other types of products, let me know what is the common product that you're selling. What's your offer? Are you in events? Things like that. So thanks. Wow, over 50 people have replied. That's great insight for us to know how we can serve you best. Now, I would like to know, sorry, team, you're going to have to go and answer all of those just by clicking confirmed. I want to know what types of campaigns you have coming up. A product launch, a content launch, an event launch, maybe an upcoming date. So for example, it's summer, maybe you have a summer sale. Or now today, you got to probably start prepping for Black Friday. I know that we are like 6 months out, but if you're already starting to think about this stuff now, you can prep those assets and save yourself time later. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the live demo. All right, so welcome to Jasper. Here we are on the dashboard. This is a blank slate. So I've gone ahead and basically started from scratch here in my demo account. And we're going to start off with brand voice. And to begin, we're going to begin with a company I made up called Room. It's a meeting software for working remotely. And so I created this fake style guide. What I do, probably you all have a style guide, something like this. It's either in Google Docs, maybe it's on your site, it's in Notion, it's somewhere. You have a way that you write content. And there are specific things you want to do and don't want to do. You want to sound like yourself when you're writing with Jasper. So copy and paste all of your, we're going to create a new voice. I could either enter a URL, we'll do that later. And then right here, I'll just paste that text. Continue. Now, what Jasper's doing is it's analyzing all of this content to figure out how it should write to basically be your digital twin. It's learning how you write. And then before it writes for you in the future for all your campaign assets, it will sound like you. It's pretty awesome. So what we're going to do is name this voice. I like starting off with an emoji to keep it fun. So Rooms brand voice. I can make this default for all campaigns, but I'm going to use a few examples today. This is great if you have a team. So let's say you got a whole bunch of salespeople that you're trying to keep them on brand when they write. Now you can with Jasper. Let's say that you're onboarding new teammates that have yet to learn the style guide, right? You know, that often onboarding freelancers or internal teammates takes a while. Jasper brand voice helps you always stay on brand. Okay, so now I created my voice. Now let's go ahead and create a campaign. We're going to do a campaign about a webinar that's coming up. This is a little meta, isn't it? You're on a webinar learning about how to promote webinars. Here's the campaign brief. Here's the way I go about it. And right now we don't have a template for you all, but every marketing team does this a little bit differently. The way I do it is I like to talk about the background of the company, what we believe in, like what makes us different, some of our ethos and core values. Then a campaign brief. So if you want to just jump straight to the chase, you could just simply do a paragraph and it would get you 80% of the way there. But there's some really interesting things you can really go above and beyond with if you include items like the audience and who should be a part of this campaign. So anyway, let's go ahead and copy and paste that. I'm going to name this campaign the State of Remote Work Webinar. And as the title sounds, it's basically a webinar all about how to work remotely as an effective team. So now I'm going to select the voice that I want the content to generate in. This is Room's brand voice. If you have like multiple clients or multiple products, maybe you want to create a personal voice for yourself or the CEO, the founder, versus a company brand voice. That's why you would want to have maybe multiple voices here. All right, now it's time to select the content. There's obviously a lot of things that go into a marketing campaign, but normally when you go into it, you have an idea of what channels that you want to execute on. Maybe I want to create a Facebook ad to promote my webinar. I will probably promote to my email list to join the webinar because that's often warm leads. You might get some cold audiences to a content, but normally it's like a nurturing sequence, right? You don't really do a press release for webinars, so I'll skip that one, but I might need a landing page copy to promote the webinar registration page. And how about some tweets too? All right. Now, just like that, and a click of the button, Jasper is studying your campaign brief and one by one creating all of your assets that you need. And this is really cool. It's going to generate your first draft. So I'll show you here in a second, like how to create status for review and assign to stakeholders, things like that. But this is a really quick way to get started. If you can just get 80% of the way there in 1/100th of the time, isn't that going to save you a ton of time? And then you can go in and do your edits, review, optimize, things like that, right? All right, let's go ahead and look at this promotional email sequence. Okay, email 1, discover the future of remote work. Join us for the State of Remote Work webinar. I love that it brought in actual facts of who's hosting it. So hosted by the founder, Manuel Antonio, on the actual date at the correct time. Often these other AIs that we work with all the time, and look, I love working with a lot of AIs. Sometimes they just straight up hallucinate and they are not factually correct. So if you're going to create campaigns, you got to rely on an AI that's actually built for business that you can rely on to be factually accurate in your tone of voice. And so that's what Jasper's really known for. In this webinar, you'll learn how to 3 bullet points, right? So notice the structure of this email. It's designed with intention. As marketers, we know you want to have here, we want to have a compelling hook. So often we know emojis increase open rates. So you'll notice here that's designed for performance. It's action heavy, right? So it's a strong call to action. Above the fold, we have all the details we need to make a decision or to learn more. We scroll down for easy reading, 3 bullet points. We have some scarcity here, right? Spaces are limited to 1,000 attendees. So strong call to action with a link to the page. And I in the campaign brief, wrote the link to where they're going to register. Save your spot. Awesome. Okay, so that's email 1. Then we go into email 2, unlock the secrets to successful remote teamwork. So this is a transformation positioning, right? How do you, if you want successful remote teamwork, there's a couple secrets you might want, right? And so it's all going back to the pillars of what they're going to learn. This is the ethos of great content marketing, right? Of great marketing in general is this kind of structured email sequence, right? So I just love the outputs here as a professional marketer. Like there's not that much extra editing I need to do. And so I could maybe add in a different tone of voice and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and put this status as complete. It's ready to go ahead and put into our email automation sequence. Okay, so how about some tweet ideas? Let's go ahead and see what Jasper generated here. All right, sweet. So I like that it gave me like 10 different tweet ideas. And now I'd go in and I'd cherry pick which ones I really like. And sometimes I'm not always just trying to copy and paste directly. I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking to figure out what are the different positioning angles. Tired of Zoom fatigue? Discover the future of remote work at our State of Remote Work webinar. This is so good. Okay, want to become a remote work wizard? That's fun. Global teams, united spirit. Oh my gosh. And so also I want to just give credit to, we look at the written style guide. What does it believe? What does this company believe in? Transparency, creativity, accessibility. The values are inclusivity and diversity with people from all around the world, cultures, backgrounds, and all that. Why am I sharing this? Think about it. We go back to this and we can see clearly that Jasper's writing with this ethos in mind. Global team, united spirit. That is exactly what this company would want in their content. All right. We can see here, maybe I want to have this in review for the social media manager to come in and take a look at which tweets to use and upload them into Hootsuite or something like that. All right. So here we are. That's everything you would need for the State of Remote Work webinar. If we wanted to go and edit our brief, let's say we forgot some things, right? We can see our brief right up here. And Jasper's gone ahead and created this in a more easy to read fashion, right? So you have your campaign name, the overview, who's your target audience, all of this, the key message. And you can go in here and edit. Let's say you want to have your key stakeholders, assign this to different people, put in your timelines. These are more like notes for yourself. Jasper's not going to read like your budget before it writes, so don't worry about that. But you can see here, this is really helping me just solidify a place to generate my content for my marketing campaigns. And everybody can visualize what is going into the campaign brief to generate this content. And if I want to go in and just start a new document, I can. And now it's nested inside of this campaign. All right. So what do you all think about that very first example here? SaaS companies commonly do webinars like this. I love it. My team will be here in the Q&A answering all your questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and go into example number 2. So this is a real company this time called going.com. And long story short, they basically send you email alerts if there's a mismarked flight, and they'll send it to your email to go and book that flight, right? So super cheap deals on flights coming out of your airport. Okay, so obviously a new product, right? If you're an agency, maybe you want to go in and create a new brand voice for your different client. This time I'm going to do it by a URL. So Jasper will go and scan this URL to develop the brand voice. Sometimes you don't have a perfect written brand voice like this company would, right? So if you don't have this yet, the fast track is go ahead and copy and paste. In this example, I'm going to this is a blog post where they talk about their rebrand and they talk about their new ethos and how they write and what's important to them. So this is great. This is going to give Jasper a lot of content to understand how to write. I'll paste that. All right. Now, just like how you were to upload your written style guide, now Jasper's detecting your tone of voice. And normally this takes roughly about a minute. Don't worry about that. You only have to do it once. And then whenever you create content, whether it's a campaign or if you're creating SEO content and documents, you're creating ads and templates, no matter where you're creating campaign or content with Jasper, even in chat, you can select this tone of voice. All right, so now I'm going to name this voice the going brand voice. Okay, so now I have two brand voices, two different companies. Let's go over here to campaigns. Create a new campaign. For this example, I've created, by the way, this is a fictional campaign. So don't go over to Scotch Cheap Flights or going.com and say, hey, are you going to honor this? Don't. It's just a campaign I came up with, right? But I know that they're going to do a Black Friday deal. And I looked up what they did last year, and they did 50% off their premium membership, which is normally $49 per year. So this time, I basically went with the same thing where I wrote about for the campaign brief, who the company is, what their product for the premium membership is, who their audience is, like young millennials who enjoy an adventurous lifestyle. When they're maybe honeymooners, they're frugal adventure seekers. All right. They got some social proof. They're loved by 2 million travelers as seen on Good Morning America, things like that. These are facts that we want Jasper to know. And we also want Jasper to reference them in our campaign. All right, so the offer is a Black Friday deal of 50% off their premium and elite memberships. We see here the call to action. The way that you purchase this is online. It is important to note that because your call to action might be register. It might be give us a call. It might be come into our store. It might be et cetera, right? So there's different call to action. Be clear with how they take action. You might want to have some like urgency limitations, any policies to know that Jasper should know or reference in the campaign. So it's only available for 72 hours. It ends this year on November 27th at midnight. These are important details that Jasper, you don't want Jasper to hallucinate or generate different content, right? Any guarantees. So they're promising that all deals are at least 40% off, if not sometimes up to 90% off. And this is data that only their internal company would know, right? So you want that in the messaging here. All right. So again, a fictional campaign, but we're going to go ahead and copy and paste this into here. Say Goings Black Friday campaign. There we are. Let's go ahead and select some content. So what do we need for a Black Friday campaign? We're going to need an ad. We're going to need a LinkedIn post. We're going to need a press release. We're going to need a promotional email sequence. Let's just start there and see what happens. All right. So while these others generate, we can go ahead and look at this Facebook ad. Don't miss out on our Black Friday deal. Get 50% off going. Awesome. Ends November 27th. It's factually accurate. This is really good. Limited time, act now. Love it. By the way, this is a document just how you would expect Google Docs or anything else, but I can also say, create more campaigns, more ad variations like the above. All right, so now I submit that into Jasper, and that's just a prompt. It then follows suit. What are other marketing angles? Perfect. If I want to continue following my thought, I just click compose. And how easy is that? So start your journey with 50% off going premium membership. I love this. So now I can say, okay, this is ready. It's in review. If I wanted to go into power mode, I could also look at other different types of templates in here. Like if I need a caption for Instagram, or if I need to do some SEO work, all of that can be done right here in templates. All right, let's look at our promotional email sequence. The Black Friday deal you've been waiting for. This is great, by the way, for our hot audience. These are our leads. We email them this. So we already have their contact info. They already know who we are and what we're about. Maybe they're on our free plan. Maybe they've downloaded content, but we've collected their email so far. So we don't got to do a lot of salesmanship on the actual offer, but more of now's the time to take action. Ready, set, go. Black Friday savings on the Going Premium membership. I literally wouldn't change anything about that. It's so good. Hi there, fellow adventurer. Have you been dreaming up of a spontaneous trip to amazing destinations at a fraction of the cost? Luckily, today's your day. Look, this is so good. Oh, look at this. The perfect stocking stuffer for your travel-loving friends and family this Christmas. The context of this campaign being right before Christmas, this just shows you how good the marketing copy is. This is going to perform really well. Click here to claim your 50% off Going membership. So I would highlight this and maybe link it right to the URL. So going.com. Bingo. All right, there we are. Happy travels, the Going team. Okay, so in the beginning, you want to announce the campaign, but then we go into email 2. It's the middle of the campaign. The clock is ticking, right? So hurry up. It's scarcity, urgency, act now. Only a few more days left. And then finally, your last chance to save on your dream vacation. I love the transformation journey here, but also the urgency to act now. Final call, 50% going. Okay. Hey, jet setter. You know what? I love that. That's so good. Okay. So you'll see this is fantastic marketing copy generated instantly. And if you don't want to use all of them, you can just use a couple, copy and paste it. All right. Now let's say that I forgot. I need to generate, let's say, how about a blog post, right? So I want to generate a blog post. All I do is use that instant magic right there. And within a click, it's already generating it. It's referencing the campaign brief and my tone of voice. And then bingo, just like that, it's going to generate the blog post. And so this is, again, a great first draft. You want to go in, edit, revise, maybe optimize for your keywords, things like that. But ultimately, it's just going to save you a handful of hours on your first draft. So here's our H1, unlock the world of budget travel with Going's Black Friday deal. So all you would do is copy and paste this into WordPress, and there you go. Go ahead and publish it. Unmissed. Oh, this is so good. Okay, so it's all about that. Why choose Going Premium? Because in the middle for your H2s and 3s, you want to have specific promises in the headline. So stay ahead of the game with Going Premium, personalized alerts, expert advice, and a community. And then we go back to our H2, summarizing the deal. I love it. So there you go. There's our blog post. Let's say that it's published. It's ready to go. It's already on the site. You can put the status there. All right. So there you go with our second example, creating a time event-based campaign for a content newsletter travel company. All right. Let me know in the comments or chat if you guys have any other questions about that. And let's go into our third one. In this third example, I thought I'd hop on something a little trendy right now, but I'm going to rename it. So this is Orange's new VR headset called Goggles. Y'all know this amazing company called Orange. They came out with a revolutionary new product called Goggles, and this is their official press release from Tom Sheff, their CEO here. So it tells you all about the goggles and what they do for spatial awareness and getting rid of that 2D screen for a 3D environment. All right, so if this is the press release that's official with all of the details you need, wouldn't you just be able to remix that and turn that into a campaign? With Jasper Campaigns, you can. We're going to go ahead and start off with our brand voice though, right? Because we want to generate content that's on brand. So here I'm going to go to the style guide of Orange, copy and paste everything on the page. This is something that's public, right? So some of you all have not only done private, Some of you don't have any style guide, but some of you have one that's publicly on your site. What if you could just literally copy and paste what's publicly on your page, paste that right there. So now Jasper's going to learn how you write. I think you all are figuring out how to do this by now, right? So it's detecting your tone of voice, understanding how you write. And when it generates the content, it'll sound like you. It'll be your digital twin. We'll name this the Orange Brand Voice. All right, let's go to campaigns, create this campaign, get our press release. The campaign name is Goggles, Orange Goggles. Our voice is orange. The brand. Let's go ahead and select some content. So what do we need to remix or repurpose this press release into? Maybe I want some tweet ideas on promoting this on Twitter. Maybe I want to do a LinkedIn post to all my followers. Maybe I want to do some Google ads for anybody that looks up our new product for our product release. What other things do you need for a product release? You should probably also do a nurture email sequence, maybe Facebook ad. How about a podcast script? Maybe YouTube in-stream ad. That's good. We already have our press release, so we don't need that. And of course, we need some landing page copy. So in not much time at all, we'll start to see all of our content rolling in. And again, agencies, internal teammates, getting that first draft back often takes weeks. At least here, you now get it in minutes. And now your team can go and review that content, schedule it, and optimize it for each channel. Okay, let's look at our landing page copy. Revolutionary new VR headset, the meta description. So it's giving you all the SEO stuff you need as well, right? Discover the future of spatial computing with orange goggles. Seamlessly blends the digital world with reality. So good. Shows you the key features, experiences, its price, and how to order. All right. So we can see here, this is the basics of a landing page. You might want to go in and add testimonials. You might want to go add different pieces of content here that give color to your landing page, but this gives you a great first draft. Okay. How about that LinkedIn post? So you want to activate all of your teammates, all of the employees in your company to talk about the new orange goggles with Citrus OS and all the different unique features of it, but it needs to sound personal. We all use and love emojis on social media. So it understands the context of that platform and adapts the content accordingly. Yeah, this is awesome. It even recommended a few hashtags to hop on. Sweet. Okay, how about some Google ads? See what different headlines it's recommending. And then you could just go in and A/B test these, right? But for getting your first backdraft, this is really cool. Look, it's telling you even just different use cases. So you have movies, games, 3D apps. So all depending on what your keywords that people are searching for, you might want to use different headlines. What I really like about this is Jasper's also generating ideas. So sometimes I'm like, wow, I didn't think that our product could be used that way, but that's pretty cool. I like that. Elevate your productivity, experience multitasking like never before. So maybe that wasn't the primary use case of goggles, but now you see Jasper generated this idea and you're like, we could go after that market. And it's as easy as copying and pasting this now that Jasper gave you the copy. Very cool. All right, great. So again, you can use instant magic to generate more ideas. You can, and this was not based off of a campaign brief. We just remixed the press release. So depending on where you are in your campaigns right now, whether you're prepping for them or you're getting ready to review the last ones to prep the next one, you can use all these different features of campaigns. With that, Hop back over to Q&A now. Thank you all for joining me for that live demonstration. And now it's time for Q&A. So I hope I delivered on our promise today of making marketing campaigns instantly with AI. Thank you for joining me. Go ahead and create your first campaign today. And now I'll hop into the live Q&A. And teammates that are on with me, if there's been any common questions that have come up that you'd like me to answer for the crowd, I'm happy to answer that now too. Yeah, so there will be a lot more use cases coming to campaigns. So as you saw that there's a handful such as like tweets, blog posts, things like that. Let us know what other use cases you're looking for. Are there different campaign assets that are missing out of what we currently have? If you type that in now, we're going to actually save and export all of these Q&As. And so now's the time. Give us some feedback. What assets do you need generated? And we can look at getting that into the next product update. All right, let's see. Is there a length limitation to campaign briefs? Or is it basically you can upload the entire white paper and it will reference that? But yeah, right now, as it is today, there's not any limits to how much you can include in that campaign brief. Jasper will then analyze it and actually pull in the most important details depending on what you're creating. It's actually really intelligent at being able to cipher which important details are for generating each asset. And so that's why you don't have to worry about the length of your brief. How is this different than other tools that are mentioned in this Q&A question, like alternatives? So the main thing is alternatives, they're not going to speak like you in your brand voice. It doesn't analyze your content, understand what your tone of voice is, your brand, your message is. It's just going to kind of be generic, right? So Jasper's designed for marketing teams to stay on brand. So Jasper's basically your brand proponent. Also, other AIs will not understand and reference your product details, anything specific about your company. You would always have to season the chat, as they would say, before you ever write. With Jasper, you just upload your knowledge, put it in your campaign brief, things like that, and then it's going to write factually. So as you saw when we generated, for example, that webinar template, then it was pulling in the actual CEO's name, the actual date, how many seats are remaining, things like that. You know, if you want it factual, accurate for your company in your brand voice, whether it's like your company brand voice or it's your team's voice, your CEO's voice. So for example, Dave Rogan-Moser, the CEO of Jasper, is from Kansas. And we taught Jasper how to write like Dave. And it uses sayings like y'all. And so it's just cool to see how that works, right? Whereas if you were to use a competitor, it would sound like everybody else's content. And we know in marketing, it's not about just producing a lot of content. It's about how to stand out, how to have your message resonate, and how to have a point of view and a perspective on what you're creating. So that's why you would need something like that, where you're teaching it how to write like you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, each one of these assets that are generated basically take into concern the context of where that output is. So for example, like tweets are 240 characters. I know there's longer ones these days, but there's a limitation there. For Google Ads, headlines and descriptions, there's only so much you can write. It does its best to stay within those limitations and write for the platform. The context of the platform does matter. When it does generate a tweet, it's not a long blog post. It's short, it's concise, it's punchy. It's been trained on well-performing tweets. For example, the Facebook ads, there's different sections. So when you generate a Facebook ad, it's going to create your primary text, your headline, your call to action, all for the context of a Facebook ad. If you look at a blog post, it understands the need for an H1, H2s, and H3s. It's going to be more long form. So yes, it does take into consideration the context of each one of those assets. Lucia is asking, she's a brand designer and she finds it all so fascinating. Are you able to create brand imagery in visual style guides at this time. Currently, Lucia, unfortunately, we do not have visual style guides in Jasper. I could foresee that coming down our product roadmap. Jasper Art, you can generate content and you could tell it directions on how you want it to look. You could say it's illustrative. You could say it's 3D, that kind of stuff, right? You could say, tell it to use the color blue, but there's not a way to add like a specific brand tone color or something like that. So we're just not there yet for visual design, but Jasper's main use case at this point is written content. Is there a way to make everything SEO optimized? Thanks for asking that, Debbie. So the way that Jasper works is it's going to be SEO optimized in its design. However, I would also recommend that you add in our integration with Surfer SEO. So surferseo.com, it's a fantastic tool and they're one of our deep integration partners. So inside of documents, you can open up power mode or SEO mode, connect in your Surfer SEO account, and then you can actually literally on the left-hand side see, based on your keyword clusters, what content Jasper should generate to rank at the top of Google for your keywords on your plan. If you're missing anything in the H1s or a certain number of images or certain FAQs, then Surfer will tell you that, and then you can direct Jasper to go and follow suit on those SEO strategies. So Jasper actually uses multiple models in its AI engine. We're actually one of Bard's very first partners for their AI, their large language model. Of course, OpenAI, Stability, Anthropic, and many others. So think of Jasper as like this entire mixology of AIs where you can actually get the best, the latest, most up-to-date models, fine-tuned for each use case, and then easy to use, and then with a layer of performance marketing on top. We've trained it on specific examples and strategies that work for Facebook ads, for blog posts, for tweet ideas. So ultimately, you're going to get a better output because you're using the most up-to-date models, the correct model for each use case, fine-tuned for the output that is for what you're generating. Yes, we work in over 30 languages. So you can actually write in one language and then generate in another. So this is great for localization if you're doing international campaigns, or maybe if English is not your native tongue, then you could actually generate content. You could input content in your language and then generate it in English as an example. A lot of positivity in this chat. I love seeing it. Thanks you all for engaging today on this webinar. I'm going to go ahead and go for 2 more minutes, and then we'll continue this conversation in the Facebook group. My recommendation to you all today is first, get your style guide uploaded to Jasper. Make sure that it's writing in your brand voice. And then now that you have your account set up, go and add your teammates. Once you add your teammates, now all of them, so you're now multiplying yourself to generate content across everybody on your team. That's going to really be great for your brand. I think your brand director is going to love that. It's also, you can train it on your salesmanship one time, and now all your other salespeople can write as effectively as your top performing salesman. I would also recommend adding the Chrome extension, because sometimes you don't want to just go to Jasper to generate content. You also want to be inside of Gmail, inside of Google Docs, or inside of the ads managers, inside of your email marketing tool. And so with the Chrome extension, Jasper's just right there on the other side of your cursor. And so it makes it much easier to generate that content right there. That's a pro tip. The people who use the Chrome extension freaking love it. I think it's one of the greatest innovations Jasper's ever created. Yeah, a lot of love coming in right now for that Chrome extension. It's also available on Edge, y'all. You can use it there too. Some of you are looking for like a sample campaign brief and a sample style guide. I don't have an example campaign brief, but what I'll just do for you right now is I'll go back to the example, and then you can like screenshot that if you want. So
Yeah, and just still in the chat, we've been saying we'll send out, along with the recording of the webinar, your sample
okay,
later in an email. So everyone should be able to get it after the webinar.
cool. Thanks, Casey. Yeah, here's an example. I would include a background on your company, what you stand for, and what makes your tone of voice unique. So this is something that I created. Another version of that is content. If let's say you have publicly shared what you stand for, like Scott, like Going has, this is the way that they write. Here's what's important to them. This is another example of how you could do a style guide. The third is a public under like brand guide. This would be for a media kit or for your affiliates or anybody writing on behalf of your company or for your company. Here's an example of Orange's style guide on what they say to do and not do and how to write with consideration, things like that. There's no one size fits all. There's no perfect style guide. You can see here Fortune 500 companies, it looks like this. You can see here for like mid-market and growing companies, it could look like this, or it could just be like a private internal document like this. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us live today. It's been my pleasure to introduce you all to campaigns. My ask of you today is go in and create your first campaign. It's super simple. You saw in less than an hour, I created 3 campaigns for 3 different companies. And so you can at least get one out the door to play around with it. And if you're actually doing this for an upcoming campaign, then go ahead and save yourself some time. And also it'll increase your performance, right? If you're busy doing a lot of other things and you want to knock out all your marketing assets, go ahead and hop in there today. The recording will be uploaded to YouTube along with all of our other product education. If you enjoyed this and you want more trainings like this, go over to our YouTube and dive on in. Thanks for joining us live, and I'll see you on the inside.